Good morrow, nerds! This week on the LarpHouse, I'm going to show you my favorite products that I have splurged on for LARP over the past couple years. These products have stood the test of time, usefulness, and camping. But first, some news. We are nearing our December 1st deadline for your in-character interview submissions for our Meet the Characters Global Edition video. Submission guidelines and interview questions are in the description of this video, as well as a post pinned to the top of our Facebook page. Kaza and Momo, that means you guys too. Speaking of Kaza, our lovely LARP girl has finally joined us on Patreon, and it is about time. So check out her page for exclusive content. It means double the Kaza. And by the way, I am calling her Khaleesi from now on since her magnificent hair transformation. And don't forget to check our Patreon out if you haven't already. There are rewards for every single dollar amount pledged, and for just $2 a month, you can submit you and your LARP for a complete LARPhouse makeover. This will include custom props, costumes, set design, effects, and makeup, all for free. And we are so close to our giveaway goal that I'm going to go ahead and announce the first item up on our list. This. Our amethyst chalice. You might recognize it from Instagram or Tumblr. Just think about it. Dream about it. Maybe kill for it. What? Never mind. Moving on. Or if you just want to buy a custom chalice, you can check out our Etsy store. And I am once again going to direct you to the LARP Box Kickstarter. Choose to back it and get a bunch of cool rewards from the people who built the subscription box for LARPers by LARPers. Now, without further ado, here are the things that I do not regret spending a little more money on for LARP. So, first off, I would like to remind you that this is about 3 or more years worth of spending accumulated into one video. So, with that in mind, let's go to the first thing. So first off is this underbust corset that I bought from Rebel Madness on Etsy for about $85. So I've only had this for a couple months, but it really gets the job done. It gives you that amazing hourglass figure, and it is about as comfortable as a steel-boned corset can be. I wore it to Comic-Con all day, and it was fine. I was fine. No back spasms, no nothing. And since then, I have used it as undergarment and overgarment alike. You may recognize it from our Halloween episode in which we featured Dark Petra. The next thing we have up on our list is the House Stark cloak from Ars Naturans on Etsy for about $220. So this is the most beautiful fur cloak I have ever owned, which is even more amazing considering the fact that the fur is fake because real fur is for petting only. It is made of Italian wool, which is just super, I don't know what that means, but it's kept me really, really warm on winter nights. Granted, it's California, and even though I'm up in the mountains usually, it can only get so cold here. But it is a desert, so. It is probably my favorite cloak I've ever owned, and once I have the expendable income, I will be ordering another one from them. I've had it for about a year, and it has gotten tons of compliments, not to mention, because of the strap design, the Game of Thrones strap design, it does not choke you in LARP battle, which is a huge plus. I cannot tell you how many times I've nearly had my neck snapped off. Now we have my very favorite raven feathery capelet from Metamorph QC on Etsy for about $170. I personally use this for so many different things, and I've even lent it out to different staff of different games to use for their NPCs for, big important like Raven Queen, Death, Gothy, beautiful, tragic kind of characters. And it has held up absolutely wonderfully for the past 2 years that I've had it. Some feathers had to be reattached last year, but it's not a big deal. Overall, it's been wonderful. It has always been like my costume piece that you can add to any costume, and it just instantly cranks it up to 11. Next, we have this leather Amazon doublet from Magic Shadow on Etsy for about $175. I have had this for 3 years, and it is super flattering and extremely versatile. Just check this out. Check it out. Detachable hood. What? You can order a custom piece like this, or you can check out any number of their magical armor leather hoodie type products. Also, everything is kind of fake leather, so you can just clean it with baby wipes or even alcohol if you got something really stubborn, but this has become a staple for me. I wear it whenever I have any kind of excuse. It's my go-to NPC outfit. Next, we have the Lady Hunter dress from Arm Street for about $175 on sale. This dress has seen heavy LARP battle as well as traipsing through the wilderness for about 3 years, and it's held up wonderfully. There's not a tear or a stitch out of place on this thing. The only thing that I had to do was replace the laces. As you can see, there are no laces here, because the ones that it came with, the little red ones, were a little bit weak and they disintegrated over time. But other than that, It's held up great. But I've even worn it without the laces and just a belt, and it looks good. It's still flattering. You may recognize this dress from the very first appearance of Thorin on the LarpHouse interviews. Next, we have the 4-yard pants from Shiny Squirrel on Etsy for about $45. You all saw these pants in the LARP preparation video, and many of you asked where I got them. Well, this is where I got them. These are those pants. Next, we have this. This is a Barebones brand lantern that I picked up at REI for about $80, and before you balk at the price, I would like to point out to you that it dims. Oh. Which is super cool. If you already know this about LARPing, they always ask you to dim your lanterns as much as possible so that people do not go night blind during LARP fights. That junk is dangerous. Don't want that. So, the dimming feature, super, super cool. It also has a rechargeable battery that you charge with a USB cable. So, I bought it in kind of like an emergency, oh my gosh, I forgot all my lighting, we need to stop at REI situation, and I have grown to love it, and I've used it at every single event ever since. Next, we have what I fondly refer to as my basic bitch epic armory sword. The retail price for this is around $100. I have only had this for a couple months, but I have admittedly forgot to spray it with silicone spray pretty often, and it's held up great. There is minimal wear and tear. The crossguard is much harder material than is normally on LARP swords, and that protects your hands better, and the blade is actually still super soft, which is really nice because not all LARP companies make their swords soft, and then, you know, junk hurts. But overall, it hits like a dream, it's beautifully detailed, and we have been taking all of our epic armory swords to every single LARP event that we've been at since we received them about 5 months ago. And there, like I said, there's minimal wear and tear, even though we have admittedly forgotten to use silicone spray to upkeep them like we should have. Definitely worth the money. Next, if you remember from our LARP preparation video, my infamous unicorn onesie, which I recently found out is from Kigurumi for about $60. This was actually a Christmas present that I got from my mom a couple years ago, and it has kept me so warm at every cold weather LARP event since then. Even though I live in California, and I mean, it's still the desert, so it gets kind of cold at night up in the mountains for sure. I'm not sure how it would do in inclement, really extreme conditions, but for my climate, it's kept me warmer than any cover I've ever tried, and it's a lot cheaper than getting a really fancy thermal sleeping bag, so. Plus, it's also really, really funny when there are night raids and you come out of your tent as a dual-wielding pink unicorn with axes. Can't make this up. Last but not least, well, least amount of money, but yeah, last anyway, we have our super fake sheepskins from IKEA for $30 each. Let me just say that IKEA really does bring out the anarchist in me, but I will be the first to say that they have some pretty cool stuff for LARP. These are, I mean, $30 each, it's okay price, but you can put them inside your tent, on top of your tent, or on top of chairs or things like that to make your whole environment a little more immersive, which, Lord knows, if you are a LARPer in America, you know that's sometimes very much needed, so it's worth checking out. That's it for this week, nerds. Thanks for tuning in, and if you keep a weather eye on the horizon, we will be hitting you next week with a long-awaited creature ears tutorial. Also, our Patreon exclusive tutorial for how to make snakeskin for just dirt cheap will be up this month as well. And again, thank you so much to everyone who's already supported us in some way. It just warms my cold, stony heart, and we might actually be able to pimp out LARPs for a living because of you guys, so thank you. We love you, we cherish you, and if you have any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts, please feel free to message us. We are on Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, nerds, like us, subscribe to us, fight with us. Oh, I think I blacked out a little bit, but I said it right. That's usually how it goes.